My Beautiful Wife. Chapter 1. First Glance. I first saw her on a rainy evening, standing beneath a yellow umbrella at the corner of MG Road. The world was rushing past, horns blaring, crowds pressing forward, but she stood still, like the rain had paused just for her. She wasn't doing anything extraordinary. She wasn't trying to be noticed, and that's exactly why I noticed her. Her name was Anya. She wore a simple blue salwar, carried a cloth bag, and held a book tightly in her hand. I didn't know her then, but I wanted to. Not because of her beauty, though she was beautiful in every sense, but because there was something quiet about her. Calm, deep, like the ocean after a storm. I didn't speak to her that day. I just watched her walk away, disappearing into the crowd, like a dream fading with daylight. But fate had other plans. Chapter 2. A second meeting. It took 3 months before I saw her again, this time at a bookstore near my office. She was at the counter, arguing politely over a price tag that had been misplaced. I heard her say, "I'm not looking for a discount. I'm looking for honesty." That was the moment I walked over. "Hi," I said. She turned, surprised. Her eyes scanned my face, not rudely, just carefully. "You're the girl from MG Road," I added. She raised an eyebrow. "You remember me?" I smiled. "Some people you don't forget." That made her laugh, soft and musical. And that's how it started, with a smile. A coincidence, and a shared love for books. We talked for 15 minutes that day, then an hour, then coffee, then walks, then long calls that stretched past midnight. Love didn't hit me like a thunderbolt. It crept in, slowly and silently, like moonlight filling a dark room. Chapter 3. Falling in love. Our love grew not in grand gestures, but in the ordinary things. Conversations about dreams, laughter over chai, shared silence during sunsets. Anya was everything I was not. Where I was impatient, she was calm. Where I spoke too much, she listened deeply. Where I worried about the future, she reminded me to live in the moment. She loved poetry, not the kind in books, but the poetry of life. She saw beauty in rusted windows, cracked sidewalks, and people who smiled even when they were hurting. I think, she once said, that love is made in small moments, not big ones. And in those small moments, I fell completely, utterly in love with her. I proposed to her on a winter evening in the same bookstore where we first talked. She said yes with tears in her eyes and her hands trembling. That night, she whispered, "Are you sure you want to marry me? I'm not always easy to love." I kissed her forehead and said, "You're everything I ever wanted, Anya." Chapter 4. Married life begins. We got married in a simple ceremony in a small garden. No lavish banquet, no grand music, just close family, flowers, and the soft sound of our hearts finally saying, "We belong." Life as husband and wife was both sweet and strange. We were two independent people learning to share everything: food, space, emotions, habits. She woke up earlier than me. She left small notes on the fridge. She turned our one-bedroom flat into a home, with curtains she stitched herself and plants she named like family members. We didn't have much money, but we were rich in each other. I came home to her stories, her laughter, her eyes that always found mine, even on the toughest days. And slowly I realized my wife wasn't just beautiful in appearance, she was beautiful in soul. Chapter 5. Shadows appear. But even the brightest days are followed by twilight. Anya began getting tired easily. She brushed it off as stress. "Too much work," she'd say. "Just a bad week." But I saw it, her fading energy, her eyes that lost their sparkle, her growing silence. One night, she collapsed in the kitchen. Panic rushed through me. I carried her to the hospital, heart pounding. Tests, scans, more tests. Finally, the doctor called us in. We found a tumor, he said. It's cancer. Early stage, but we must begin treatment immediately. The world blurred. Anya gripped my hand tightly, her face pale but composed. I broke down. She didn't. She looked at the doctor and asked calmly, "What's the plan?" That night, she held me close and whispered, "We'll get through this." Chapter 6. The battle begins. Chemotherapy changed everything. Her thick black hair began to fall out. She vomited after every session. She lost weight. She lost strength. But she never lost her grace. She wore scarves with pride. She smiled at other patients. She kept reading, painting, writing in her journal. Every night, she'd say, "One day closer to healing." I cried in the bathroom sometimes when she couldn't see. I felt helpless, useless, angry at fate. But Anya never let sadness define her. She once told me, "Don't remember me as the girl with cancer. Remember me as the woman who lived even when life tried to stop her." Chapter 7. The strength of her love. During her treatment, our bond deepened. I saw love in the way she held my hand when I was scared, in the way she wrote thank you notes to every nurse, in the way she smiled for me even when she was in pain. Her beauty never faded. In fact, it grew. She became more radiant, more powerful, more alive. One evening, as we sat under the stars outside the hospital, she said, "If anything happens to me, promise me you won't be alone. Promise you'll keep living." I shook my head. "Nothing's going to happen to you." But I could feel her slipping away, like the sun fading behind a slow-moving cloud. Chapter 8. The day the sky broke. She fought hard. She gave everything. But cancer is cruel, unfair, unforgiving. She passed away on a rainy morning, the same way I first saw her. Quiet, graceful, wrapped in peace. She held my hand till her last breath. Her final words, "I love you, always." And then, silence. The kind of silence that breaks the soul. The world lost its color. The sky dimmed. Time slowed. My beautiful wife was gone. Chapter 9. Learning to breathe again. Grief is not loud. It is slow, cold, and heavy. It comes in the middle of a quiet lunch, during a walk, when folding clothes that no longer belong to anyone. I didn't talk much. I stopped going to the bookstore. I barely ate. But then, one day, I opened her journal, page after page of hope, of dreams, of messages for me. She wrote, "Don't close your heart. Let life in." She left letters for me, one for each month after she passed. In them, she reminded me of our laughter, our promises, and the life we still had to live, even if she wasn't there physically. Chapter 10. Love that never dies. A year later, I went back to the bookstore. I smiled at the corner where we first talked. I bought the same book she had that day. I began writing. Our story, her story. People say I lost my wife, but I didn't. She lives in the wind that carries her laughter, in the flowers she planted, in the child I will someday adopt in her honor, because she always wanted to raise a girl and name her Naina. And every time someone says, "You look better," I say, "I had a beautiful wife, and she taught me how to live beautifully too."